Welcome to Indian Traditional Stories with AI. The Vow of Seven Chakras, a great war of love and trust. Midnight of the full moon, plunged in darkness, the ancient Shiva temple spire trembled in the wind. Prince Devvrat, firm resolve was etched on his face. In his hand, merely an iron sword. Devvrat slowly enters through the door. A profound, mysterious silence pervades the temple corridor. Then an indistinct, yet sweet sound strikes their ears. It is the sound of a maiden's anklets, which Devvrat is trying to carefully discern. There is an empty space from where the sound of the anklets is emanating, but no one is visible. This maiden was Priya, who was invisible due to the curse of the cruel Tantric Byron. Devvrat closes his eyes. He knows he must not look at Priya, only follow the sound. Devvrat carefully rests his sword on the ground. The tip of the sword touches the earth. The abandonment of the sword, this resolve that he will rely not on valor, but on his faith. He looks towards the Sapt chakras, 7 circles formed around the Shiva Lingam. Devvrat began the first circumambulation, the first step taken with resolve. As the first step of the first circumambulation is taken, the fierce Tantric Byron's thunderous laughter echoes. Horrific, distorted shadows suddenly begin to dance on the temple pillars. A slight doubt appears on Devvrat's face. A heavy voice echoes in Devvrat's ears, the voice of his deceased father. "Son, you are toiling in vain. Go back." The prince's heart is troubled. He falters. Just then, the sound of anklets intensifies, as if offering him solace. Devvrat shuts his eyes tightly. He continues to follow only the sound. This was the first cycle of fear, where the prince had to battle the doubts of his past. The trial of greed, day 2. The second circumambulation begins. Tantric Byron weaves a new illusion. The stone path of the temple suddenly gleams. It fills with gold and precious gems. Devvrat stops. Before his eyes, jewels gleam. A beautiful Apsara appears, her garments golden. The Apsara bows before Devvrat and shows him a jewel-studded throne. The Apsara says, "Prince, why such hardship for a poor maiden? Take this gold and save your kingdom." Devvrat thinks for a moment, then remembers his purpose. The sound of anklets beckons him to move forward, away from greed. Devvrat advances with determination. He tramples the gold under his feet. Gems and gold shatter beneath his sandals. The Apsara's face fills with rage. Devvrat's purpose was not wealth, but to free the kingdom from the curse with love. The test of delusion, day 3. The third circumambulation begins. From the center of the temple, a divine figure emerges. Priya herself appears in her visible form, but this is the illusory image conjured by the Tantric. Priya looks extremely distressed. Streams of tears are on her cheeks. Priya, weeping, speaks in a pained voice. "Devvrat, my curse is unbearable. Look at me, just once, look at me and free me from this agony." The prince's resolve wavers. He yearns to reach out and touch Priya. At the last moment, he covers his eyes with his hands, a sight of immense self-control. Devvrat speaks firmly. "Priya, my vow is unbroken. Even without seeing you, I am yours." The illusory form of Priya begins to dissipate, her face filled with anger and despair. This was the cruelest test of temptation, in which the prince had to maintain complete control over his senses. The test of doubt, days 4 and 5, fourth circumambulation. Tantric Bhairon injects the poison of doubt. The sound of anklets suddenly breaks. Now there is only terrifying silence. Devvrata doubts. Is he truly circumambulating or merely circling in a round enclosure? His steps faltered repeatedly. He looks around. The path seems disorienting. Just then, Priya's voice resonates clearly in his heart. Believe, O prince, not in sound, but in your love. Believe. The prince bends down and makes a small mark on the ground, ascertaining his direction. He looks at that small mark, a symbol of faith, and continues to move forward. Test of physical pain, day 6. On the 6th circumambulation, the Tantric creates physical obstacles. The path to the temple becomes filled with fearsome sharp thorns and burning fire peaks. Devvrata moves forward barefoot. His feet become covered in blood. The pain is unbearable. He groans, but does not stop. He tears pieces from his royal garments and binds them around his feet. Tying the cloth on his blood-soaked feet, he proceeds towards the final circumambulation. Climax, the final vow and war, day 7. The final hour of the 7th circumambulation has arrived. The sky above the temple turns a deep black. The cruel Tantric Bhairon appears in his terrifying, monstrous form. His body blazes like fire. The Tantric roars, "Foolish prince, you will not be able to break the curse. My dominion is unbreakable." The prince now raises his sword, but not towards the Tantric. Completing the final circumambulation, he places his sword in the center of the temple. Devvrat spreads his arms and declares, "O beloved, I accept you as my wife even in your invisible form. My love is my vow. This is my ultimate vow of the 7 chakras for my kingdom and my heart." With this selfless resolution of love from the prince, for freedom from the curse and for victory, an intense divine light emanates from the center of the temple. This light is so formidable that the power of Tantric Bhairon is instantly incinerated. The Tantric screams and vanishes as smoke. The curse is broken. The light subsides. Princess Priya, in her full divine beauty, stands before Devvrat. Priya smiles. The sound of her anklets is no longer silent, but sings a song of victory. Prince Devvrat and Priya's grand wedding ceremony. The entire kingdom is celebrating. Prosperity and peace have returned to their kingdom. The Maharaja, now old, looks at Devvrat and Priya. The Maharaja understood that neither power nor wealth, but true faith and selfless love are the greatest strengths of life. If this story has touched your heart, has brought a smile to your face, or has shown you a new path, then definitely express this feeling as a like. Share it with your friends and family. By pressing the subscribe button, you will become a part of our story family.